Students, today I'll be taking second part of the story Shroud by Munshi Premchand. As I told you, the story is a record of the invisible violence inflicted by and the dehumanizing effect of poverty. When Madhav's wife Budhiya was screaming and thrashing in pain, Ghisu and Madhav sat inactive. They could not get medicine, neither a quack, for everything needs money, and they were, you know, already in debt. Yet they knew the society which refused them money now would help if a child was born or Budhiya died. So in the morning when Madhav went into the hut and looked, his wife had gone cold, means she is no more. She died after the baby also died and the mother also died. Flies were buzzing on her face, her stony eyes because there is no life in her eyes now, she is no more, had rolled upward. Her whole body was covered with dust. In her stomach the baby had died. So she was rolling in pain throughout the night, and so her body was covered with dust, and now both of the baby and the mother, they die. So with Budhiya's death, now they think that they will get money in order to get the shroud from the market. Now the villagers, they think, will help them out. So as Madhav saw his wife dead, he came running to Ghisu. Then they both together began loudly lamenting and beating their breast. When the neighbors heard the weeping and wailing, they came running, and following the ancient custom, they began to console the bereaved. So they were consoling, the villagers began consoling Madhav and Ghisu, as the custom prevails. Uh, but this wasn't the occasion for an excessive show of grief. They had to worry about the shroud and the wood. As I told you, they have no money, so now they wanted some money in order to cremate the lady, the shroud and the wood. Money was as scarce in their house as meat in a raptor's nest. Just as you don't find any meat in a raptor's nest, in the same way, money was such a scarce thing, hardly to be found in their house, because they are lazy, they don't do anything, they don't go for work, so they are already in debt, and there is no money with, so that they can buy a shroud and some wood for the lady to cremate her. So now uh, they knew, both the father and the son, they knew that the society which refused them money now would help if a child was born or Budhiya died. So they sat still, waiting for either of the two to happen. They waited throughout the night, that if the baby takes birth, in that case the villagers are going to give them some money, or even the if the wife dies, if the mother dies, Budhiya dies, in that case also the villagers are going to help them out. So they sat wailing when Budhiya died. And with Budhiya's death, they rushed to the Jamidar for help for Budhiya's cremation. So father and son went weeping to the village landlord. He hated the very sight of their faces. The village landlord, he just did not want to see them, because they are known for their you know laziness. They don't do anything, and so the landlord hated them, because landlord feeds on the labor of the poor people. A number of times he had beaten them with his own hands for theft or for not coming to work as they had promised. He asked, "What is it, Ghisu? Why do you weep? Nowadays we don't even see you around. It seems that you no longer want to live in the village." So they went to the Jamidar, who hated them because they did not work. But it was such an occasion when Jamidar could not deny them, so he just offered Madhav a sum of 2 rupees, because he knew it was not the right moment for giving vent to his anger or meting out punishment. So decorum of civility demanded that he helped a man in need for cremating his wife. Now Ghisu is shrewd enough to propagate this generosity showered on him by the Jamidar to manipulate the rest of that class to extract money. So first he went to the Jamidar, and then he manipulated the rest of that class to extract more money. The merchants and the moneylenders dared not refuse someone whom their Jamidar obliged. So see the shrewdness of Ghisu. He first went to Jamidar, and if Jamidar had given some money, then nobody in the village had the courage to refuse money to them. So Ghisu fell prostrate on the ground and said, with tear filled eyes, Master, I am in great trouble. Madhav's wife passed away last night. All day she was writhing in pain. Master, we too sat by her bed till midnight. Whatever medicines we could give her, we did. So they are lying. They have not given even a single medicine to the lady. But they said that they had already given her the medicine they could give. But she slipped away. Now we have no one to care for us, Master. We are devastated. We are ruined. Devastated, ruined. Our house is destroyed. I am your slave. Now who but you will take care of her final rights? Whatever money we had at hand was used up on medicines. If the master will show mercy, then she will have the proper rights. To whose door should I come except yours? So, Ghisu is exploiting the emotions of the Jamidar. He says, who will help them except the master? And so he asked master to show, master means Jamidar, he asked master to show mercy so that she could be properly cremated. And the landlord Sahib was a compassionate man. He was, but to show compassion to Ghisu was to try to dye a blanket, just as a black blanket cannot be dyed. It will not have any color on it if you try to dye it. So he says, showing compassion to Ghisu was useless because he did not deserve that. Though landlord is a compassionate man, he is he is a very sympathetic person, but Ghisu is not the kind of person whom proper sympathy or he could sympathize with. But Ghisu, he felt like saying, he here means the Jamidar felt like saying, get out of here, keep the corpse in your house and let it rot. So because he is very infuriated with Ghisu, they never worked, and they never whenever master called them for work, they did not turn up. So he is very much angry with him, but still and so he felt like saying to him that he doesn't want Ghisu to give anything, but then his heart melts. He first wanted to say that keep the corpse means dead body, to in your house and let it rot. So let it perish. But usually you don't come even when you are called. Now when you want something, you come and flatter me. So this is the landlord is angry because he says that whenever he has called Ghisu or Madhav, they never turned up, and now because they want something, they have come and they are trying to flatter him. You treacherous bastard. Treacherous mischievous, one who cannot be trusted. You villain! But this was not the occasion for anger or revenge. Willingly or not, he pulled out 2 rupees and flung them down. Threw. Flung means threw. But he did not open his lips to say a single word of consolation. He did not even look in Gisu's direction as if he had discharged a duty. Now, the landlord, otherwise a generous man, a very compassionate man, could offer only 2 rupees for the cremation of the lady because he was very angry with Gisu, who never turned up for work. So he says that you don't deserve any kind of sympathy. But without saying, he felt this, but without saying this, he just, gave 2 rupees for the cremation of the lady. When the landlord Sahib gave 2 rupees, then how could the village merchants and money lenders have the nerve to refuse? Nerve means courage. So see the shrewdness of Ghisu. Ghisu knew that if the Jamidar helps him, then nobody else can refuse. Now the merchants and the money lenders dared not refuse someone whom their Jamidar obliged. And so what happened? Ghisu pretty soon collected a tidy sum of 5 rupees, negotiating the hypocrisies and sentiments of a society which gave precedence to social pretensions and values like kindness, sympathy, donation, etc., over sharing resources in the real sense. So, Premchand is also commenting on the hypocrisies and sentiments of a society which gives preference to social pretensions, because cremation is to be done and this is a ritual, this is a right, and in order to pretend, in order to perpetuate those pretensions, the society is giving help to these two persons. And so he says that for the society, what is more important? Social pretensions are more important than kindness and sympathy. They have helped Gisu not out of sympathy, but out of out of the need of the perpetuation of a custom. Gisu knew that society did not care how they buried their women. They were offered money not out of sympathy but because of social obligation. So this is what Premchand is emphasizing in this section, that Gisu and Madhav were offered money not out of sympathy but because of social obligations. We'll be taking up third section in the next lecture. Thank you.